I intentionally, when I was pregnant, hid. Not because I was embarrassed. I was growing a human inside of me.
This is the moment the entire internet has been waiting for. After months of whisper campaigns, suspicious interviews, and social media sleuthing, the truth is finally out. A woman has come forward, on camera, with receipts, and claimed she was the real surrogate behind Erika Kirk's supposed miracle pregnancy. And what she just revealed has fans screaming, insiders running for cover, and Erika's entire brand on the verge of collapse. We're talking fake baby bumps, hidden medical trips to Romania, legal hush money, and now a full-blown surrogate scandal that could destroy Erika's public image forever. Because for years, Erika Kirk has built her entire persona on the perfect family image. The glowing pregnancy shoots, the Christian motherhood podcasts, the pro-life speeches where she used her own miracle birth as proof of divine intervention. But what if it was all a carefully manufactured lie? What if Erika never carried the baby herself? What if the entire pregnancy was a strategic stunt to gain sympathy, sell more books, and manipulate the conservative world she profits from? And what if the surrogate was told to disappear? Well, now she's not staying silent anymore because this whistleblower, she's got voice memos, she's got secret contracts, she's got screenshots with Erika's own name on them. And if what she says is true, it's not just the pregnancy that was fake, it's the entire brand. And here's the part that will leave your jaw on the floor. According to her, Erika didn't just hide the truth from the public, she threatened legal action if the surrogate ever spoke out. But now, the gag order has expired, and the real story is finally coming out. Stick around, because what you're about to hear next will change everything you thought you knew about Erika Kirk. Before the scandal exploded, before the receipts dropped, the surrogate came forward, and Erika Kirk's empire began to crumble. There was an illusion, a pristine, polished illusion that had millions of people fooled. Because Erika wasn't just presenting herself as another conservative influencer. She built herself into a symbol of faith, femininity, and so-called biblical family values. The Christian right paraded her like a trophy. She was the queen of the culture war, the wholesome wife, the glowing mother, the walking answer to every criticism thrown at Turning Point USA's image of womanhood. But now, that crown is cracked. Let's rewind. Erika Kirk, wife of conservative firebrand Charlie Kirk, burst into the scene with elegance, charisma, and a clear mission: to reshape the conservative movement through optics of perfection. Her Instagram was a manicured vision of motherhood. Long flowing dresses, baby bump photos under soft lighting, scriptures quoted over photos of her praying. She leaned hard into the Proverbs 31 woman branding with just enough modern glamour to keep her relevant with younger audiences. And then came the pregnancy story. At first, it felt like a dream come true. Erika had been quietly building her platform with women's groups, faith and family podcasts, and lifestyle brand endorsements. Then suddenly, boom, she announces she's expecting. And not just expecting, but after a long journey of prayer, framed heavily as a miracle. The kind of story tailor-made to capture hearts and control narratives. Every post was emotionally choreographed. Tearful gender reveals, verses about life in the womb, teasers about her soon-to-be motherhood book, and she didn't shy away from using it to politicize. She spoke at rallies, appeared on Christian TV networks, told women everywhere that God had blessed her because of her obedience, and this child was proof. But here's where things got weird. There were murmurs, small things, barely noticeable to most. Some followers pointed out inconsistencies in the timeline. Others noted how Erika's body never seemed to show the physical signs of a progressing pregnancy. She was always wrapped in heavy clothes or strategically placed behind props. Her movement in public appearances, rigid, delicate, controlled. And then came the Romania trip. Out of nowhere, Erika went offline for nearly 3 weeks. No updates, no selfies, no podcast drops. When she reappeared, she looked different, visibly thinner, radiant. And suddenly, the baby was born. No delivery photos, no hospital content, just one professional studio shot of Erika holding the child, complete with an emotionally charged caption about answered prayers. People were suspicious, but Erika's fans defended her fiercely. Let her have privacy. Maybe she had complications. Not everyone wants to share birth stories. But behind closed doors, whispers began circulating, and a few anonymous Reddit posts, ones that would later prove eerily accurate, claimed Erika had been in Eastern Europe for reasons she wasn't ready to reveal, specifically Romania. Now, why Romania? That's what no one could answer. But fast forward to the present day, and it all makes sense. The surrogate who just came forward says she lives in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, and she claims Erika's team flew her out, paid her under a closed NDA, and promised permanent confidentiality, all in exchange for silence and a healthy baby. And here's where the timeline gets sinister. This surrogate, who we'll call L, claims she was selected months before Erika even announced the pregnancy publicly. She says Erika's team prearranged medical care, worked with a shadowy family planning agency, and demanded L never refer to herself as the biological mother, even though she carried the child for 9 months. L says she agreed at first, but when complications arose during birth, Erika's team abandoned her in a foreign hospital. L says her calls were ignored, her final payment delayed, and the legal document she signed? Shredded in front of her. Why? Because according to L, Erika never wanted this paper trail to exist. She wanted to tell the world she carried the baby herself, that the miracle pregnancy was hers, not manufactured. If that's true, it means Erika fabricated an entire narrative of faith, sacrifice, and divine favor to gain influence, sympathy, and political power. And she used another woman's body to do it. We also have to look at the political stakes. Erika wasn't just any influencer. She was married to the president of TPUSA. She spoke at national conservative conferences, where motherhood wasn't just a virtue. It was a political weapon. She spoke about the beauty of biological motherhood while allegedly lying about experiencing it. Let's be clear. Surrogacy isn't the scandal. Millions of families use surrogates. The scandal is the cover-up, the deliberate deception, the spiritual manipulation, the attempt to erase the real woman behind the pregnancy and paint herself as a walking sermon. Fans who once adored Erika are now asking the tough questions. Why was there never any real footage from the hospital? Why did Erika avoid appearing on video during key stages of her pregnancy? Why were there no medical updates or details, despite her oversharing everything else in her life? Some are even pointing to an old podcast clip from a year ago where Erika slips up and says, "We've been planning our family expansion for a while, even overseas," before quickly correcting herself. Was that the accidental truth? Did Erika, and possibly Charlie Kirk, know about the surrogate all along and choose to deceive the public? And if they did, what does that mean for the values they've been preaching to millions? One former TPUSA staffer, speaking anonymously, said, "Everyone behind the scenes knew something was weird about that pregnancy. But you don't question Erika, you fall in line. Another former intern leaked a memo allegedly from Erika's manager warning staff not to speak about her medical leave or any international travel details related to her condition. And suddenly, all those tiny details, the silence, the vanishing act, the perfectly timed rollout of her new book, begin to paint a much darker picture. This wasn't just a lie. This was a strategy. It began with a voice note. An anonymous whistleblower sent it to a small, underground podcast known for investigating political scandals. The host, who'd previously covered quiet stories around the darker side of right-wing influencers, received an encrypted email with the subject line, "She lied about the baby. I'm the proof." Inside were 3 things: a blurry photo of a woman in a hospital gown, a scanned document in Romanian with Erika Kirk's name buried deep in the paperwork, and a 46-second audio message. When the podcast played the audio live during a Truth Drop segment, it triggered a social media explosion. The woman on the recording said in a soft, trembling voice, "My name is being erased, but I gave birth to Erika's child. They said I would be protected. I wasn't. She faked it all. She never carried the baby. I did." That voice belonged to the Romanian surrogate known only as L. And from that moment on, the floodgates burst wide open. Within 48 hours, the podcast's upload had amassed 4 million views across TikTok, X, and YouTube. Screenshots of the hospital discharge papers began circulating, showing Erika Kirk's name listed as a guardian, not a patient. Then came the first contract leak. A blacked-out legal agreement dated 9 months prior, marked with "confidential" in red, was posted by an anonymous account claiming to be an ex-employee of a European surrogacy coordinator. In the contract, the surrogate mother's responsibilities are outlined, including prenatal conditions, dietary plans, and a disturbing clause that read, "Client requests public anonymity of gestational surrogate indefinitely. No photographic records or interviews are permitted. Public claim to pregnancy is reserved for client." That one line ignited a digital wildfire. Commentators, both liberal and conservative, began asking the same question. Why would Erika Kirk go to such extremes to erase this woman's role, unless she had something huge to hide? And then, boom, came the video. The surrogate, now fully stepping into the spotlight, uploaded a raw, emotional 9-minute clip from what appeared to be her apartment in Cluj, Romania. She looked visibly exhausted. No makeup, no edits, no filters, just truth. In the video, she tearfully explained her journey. "I was contacted by a lawyer representing a high-profile client from America who could not carry a child for personal reasons. I was flown out twice. We used translators. I was promised full protection, medical care, and compensation. I never knew the client's identity until months into the pregnancy, when I overheard a nurse mention Erika's name. She described how Erika visited Romania once, briefly, wearing sunglasses and a hood, and only stayed for 48 hours. She never touched her stomach. She didn't even speak to the surrogate directly. They treated me like I was an incubator," the woman said, visibly shaking. "Not a person, just a tool to build her story." She went on to reveal how Erika's team paid for a private birthing clinic with VIP isolation. After the delivery, she was allegedly rushed out the back door, while Erika's assistants arrived with cameras, flowers, and a prepared press statement. And here's the most shocking part. According to the surrogate, Erika held the baby for less than 5 minutes, just long enough to get the shot. Then she left. The emotional trauma was etched all over the surrogate's face. "I asked to hold the baby again. They told me it wasn't mine to touch." The moment that clip hit the internet, hashtag Erika Kirk lied began trending. The conservative world was reeling. Some rushed to Erika's defense, calling it a coordinated attack, but even her most loyal fans couldn't deny something about the story wasn't adding up, especially when someone leaked a private group chat from inside the Turning Point USA Women's Division. In it, a former intern wrote, "Guys, don't freak out, but remember when Erika told us she was carrying a gift from God, but had to protect it with silence? And how she cried when asked about morning sickness. This is why. She never had it." The twist? Another admin replied, "We all knew, but we signed NDAs." Suddenly, the scandal wasn't just about Erika. It was about an entire circle of powerful people who had allegedly helped orchestrate the cover-up. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, a celebrity voice entered the chat, none other than Candace Owens. In an Instagram live stream titled Christian Values or PR Lies, Candace addressed the surrogate allegations directly. If Erika lied about this, if she deceived millions of women to maintain an image that aligns with a political brand, then she owes every Christian woman in this movement an apology. This isn't about surrogacy. This is about lying. It's about using God's name to push an aesthetic. Candace, once a public supporter of Erika, had officially flipped, and the consequences were nuclear. TPUSA quietly removed Erika's latest keynote announcement from their website. The sponsors for her upcoming Faith and Family Conference reportedly pulled out. One anonymous source inside the production team claimed, "We were told not to mention anything about motherhood on stage anymore. It's radioactive now." More leaked texts surfaced. One from Erika's inner circle even read, "She's in meltdown mode. She didn't think the girl would ever speak." This scandal wasn't just personal. It was now institutional, because Erika's pregnancy story had been leveraged as a political tool. She had spoken on the House floor, lobbying for anti-surrogacy laws while allegedly participating in it secretly. She appeared in pro-life campaign ads where her story was central to the message, "Life is a miracle. I'm living proof." But if she never carried the child, what does that make her? An activist? A manipulator? A fraud? The surrogate story continued gaining traction. Journalists dug deeper. Romanian reporters confirmed the clinic where the child was allegedly born, and even obtained security footage showing Erika's team entering through the back entrance, while the surrogate was wheeled out the front, alone. Even more damning was the final twist of this section. A private email from Erika to her publicist was leaked. The email reads, "If this girl talks, we're done. Get the Romanian NDA extended or buy her silence another way." Another way? No one knows what she meant, but the damage was already done. What began as a voice note has now turned into a full-blown exposé, shattering Erika's curated image, breaking open the conservative influencer world's obsession with optics, and leaving a child at the center of it all, wrapped in a storm of secrets. The public already felt betrayed. The voice recordings, the surrogate's tearful confession, the NDA leaks, it was all spiraling fast. But nothing could have prepared anyone for what was about to hit next, because this wasn't just a scandal anymore. This was a coordinated deception, spanning countries, currencies, and connections so dark, even Erika's closest allies began backing away. It started when a Romanian investigative outlet, Zirul Cluj Confidential, released a two-part exposé titled "The American Woman, the Surrogate, and the Secret Child." The reporters had been tipped off anonymously after the surrogate's video went viral, and what they uncovered was nothing short of explosive. The documents they published revealed a shocking web of hidden money transfers from a Delaware-based shell company to a Romanian clinic known for discreet surrogacy arrangements. And guess what name appeared twice in the transaction logs? Erika Michelle Kirk. But it wasn't just Erika. Another name linked to these financial movements? Charlie Kirk. The wire transfers, totaling over $275,000, were flagged under vague descriptors like wellness consulting, international child planning, and religious development services. But these weren't donations or investments. These were direct payments to medical professionals, agencies, and allegedly even the surrogate herself. Now, here's where it gets nasty. The reporters interviewed a former staffer at the surrogacy agency who claimed they were specifically instructed to purge Erika's name from the system after the delivery. They told us this client was a VIP, that if anyone asked, we were to say the birth was handled by another coordinator. One day, all the records vanished from the database. But the smoking gun was a passport scan. A whistleblower provided a time-stamped scan of Erika's passport entering Cluj-Napoca International Airport just 3 weeks before the supposed due date. Erika, who claimed to be in her 3rd trimester at that point, had told followers she was resting at home, preparing for delivery. How was she resting at home? While in Romania? That question started a storm on social media. #RomaniaGate began trending. Podcasters dubbed it the Great Christian Pregnancy Lie. TikTok creators reenacted the fake birth timeline in viral skits, mocking her staged bump progression. And just when the fire couldn't burn hotter, Candace Owens dropped the match that sent it into overdrive. She uploaded a second live stream, this time with proof. Candace had been sent a private group chat screenshot from Erika's Faith Circle Women's Retreat group. In the messages, Erika allegedly admitted, "It's better if they think it's mine. It builds the testimony." That single quote turned Erika's story from a questionable narrative into full-blown religious exploitation. Candace didn't hold back. You used God's name to justify a lie. You exploited a surrogate and erased her. You paraded around as if this was a divine miracle while knowingly deceiving your audience. And the worst part? You turned it into a profit machine. Books, conferences, courses, all on the back of a baby you didn't even carry. The hypocrisy was unbearable. Every podcast Erika appeared on talking about honoring God through motherhood was now being clipped, reposted, and destroyed in the comments. But just when it seemed Erika couldn't be more exposed, another recording leaked, and this one might be the final nail. A former staff member at TPUSA Women's uploaded a voicemail Erika allegedly left for her publicist in the middle of the storm. You could hear the panic in her voice. They can't know about the flight. They can't. Delete the travel logs. Say I was in Nashville with my family. Just handle it. If this comes out, I'm finished. Too late. Flight logs, bank wires, surveillance timestamps, insider messages. It was all out there now. The media had a field day. Rolling Stone called it the conservative pregnancy hoax of the decade. The View ran a whole segment on Erika's unraveling image, with Joy Behar saying, "You lie with scripture in your hand and a fake baby in your belly? That's Oscar-level performance." Even religious communities who once defended Erika began distancing themselves. Several Christian influencers deleted old collaborations with her. Some quietly unfollowed. Others began putting out subtle posts about integrity over optics, and not every platform is built on truth. But Erika was silent. Her Instagram went dark. Her podcast episodes paused. Her newsletter, once filled with uplifting devotionals and baby milestones, stopped altogether. People began joking that Erika had entered her digital witness protection. And then, boom, an ex-staffer went nuclear. A woman named Sarah D., who worked as Erika's content coordinator for a year, uploaded a TikTok saying she couldn't stay silent any longer. In it, she said, "I watched Erika rehearse fake pregnancy movements before live streams. She had a foam belly. She studied how to breathe like a pregnant woman. It was disturbing. And the baby? She was never maternal. That's what broke me. She only cared about the story, the branding. She'd say things like, 'We need a verse with this photo. Make it look like I'm praying over my womb.'" She ended the clip with a bone-chilling message. "I left because I realized Erika didn't just lie. She weaponized motherhood for power. And now, she's finally being exposed." This testimonial was the final blow. Even Erika's own audience turned. Her comment sections, once flooded with scripture and support, were now war zones of betrayal. "How dare you manipulate faith for clout? I named my daughter after your miracle story. You disgust me. You should publicly apologize to that surrogate. You erased her humanity." And yet, Erika remained silent, which only made the outrage louder. Because if she wasn't going to speak up, others were. Multiple faith-based companies began quietly removing Erika as a brand ambassador. 2 podcasts she co-hosted were pulled from streaming platforms, and her Motherhood and Ministry online course wiped clean from the internet. Even conservative figureheads like Allie Beth Stuckey and Jenna Ellis, previous defenders, released vague tweets about the importance of truth, even when it hurts, which fans immediately interpreted as quiet condemnation. Meanwhile, the surrogate? She released a final message to the public. "I never wanted this attention. I just wanted to be treated with dignity. That child is beautiful. I gave life to him, and I was discarded. But now, people know the truth. That's all I ever wanted." It wasn't just a revelation. It was a reckoning. A reckoning for a movement that put appearances over authenticity, for a brand built on aesthetics rather than honesty, for a woman who wanted influence so badly, she allegedly erased another woman's humanity to get it. And now, Erika's once unshakable empire, teetering on collapse. By now, the internet wasn't just reacting, it was revolting. The betrayal hit harder than anyone could have predicted. Erika Kirk wasn't some faceless politician. She had built her image as the face of wholesome Christian womanhood, modern motherhood, and conservative values wrapped in soft-filtered Instagram posts. And now, that very image was being ripped to shreds. Everywhere you turned, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, people were posting side-by-sides of Erika's staged baby bump photos and the timeline of her Romanian wellness retreat. Influencer drama channels made 10-part exposé series with titles like, "I followed Erika Kirk for years. I feel sick. This is worse than Rachel Dolezal, Faith Edition. The baby bump was foam. The hashtag spiraled out of control. Hashtag Erika lied. Hashtag surrogate speaks. Hashtag fake faith. Mama hashtag bumpgate. Hashtag WWED. What would Erika do? Lie, apparently. One viral tweet simply said, "This woman built an empire off a belly pad. Jesus, take the wheel." The church community, especially young Christian women, erupted with shock and confusion. Reddit threads from Bible study groups started popping up, titled things like, "How do we explain Erika's lies to our daughters? Was my faith influenced by a fraud?" One heartbreaking post from a woman named Emily read, "I miscarried last year, and Erika's story gave me hope. I listened to her podcast every day. I cried with her, and now I feel like I prayed to a lie." Influencers who once gushed over Erika's anointed motherhood began purging old content. Live streams with Erika were deleted or made private. Brand collaborations she once led, particularly ones related to faith-based motherhood brands, issued statements cutting ties. Even mainstream conservative news outlets, who once platformed her, were suddenly silent. But the parodies? Oh, they were brutal! TikTok exploded with skits. A girl with a baby doll stuffed under her shirt did a fake Erika Kirk pregnancy tutorial, narrating how to cry on cue and stage a miracle birth in 3 easy steps. Someone else used AI to remix Erika's old pregnancy quotes into a dark satire titled Womb for Rent, the Erika Kirk Story. YouTube creators turned her soft aesthetic brand intro, those pastel-filtered Welcome to My Miracle videos, into cinematic horror trailers, complete with heartbeat monitor sound effects and clips of her smiling while overlay text read, "She lied, she branded it, she sold it." But the industry fallout, that was just as harsh. Faith-based sponsors, gone. Companies like Proverbs and Pillows, Godly Mom Company, and Heavenly Threads quietly removed Erika from their ambassador pages. Speaking gigs canceled. A major pro-life women's conference in Dallas released a public statement. In light of recent revelations, Erika Kirk will no longer be speaking at our 2026 summit. We believe integrity is the cornerstone of leadership. Podcast networks erased. Her voice, Erika's once viral podcast on Christian motherhood, was pulled from Spotify, Apple, and Stitcher. Fans were stunned to find an empty feed where 120-plus episodes once lived. Book deals reportedly revoked. Rumors swirled that her upcoming devotional book, Born for a Purpose, My Walk Through Motherhood, had been pulled from shelves before release. A Christian publishing insider leaked an email allegedly from the publisher. Due to recent events involving the author, all distribution plans are suspended pending further review. And then came the church leaders. Pastors and women's ministry heads across the country started subtly addressing the Erika situation in sermons and social media posts. One pastor's Sunday message went viral. Be careful not to idolize influencers. Sometimes the devil comes wrapped in a devotional. The church world was no longer defending her. They were distancing themselves. And yet, despite the backlash, the memes, the canceled contracts, some people were still defending her. A fringe group of ultra-loyal fans began spinning conspiracy theories that the surrogate was planted by liberal operatives, that the whole Romania story was media manipulation, and that Erika was being spiritually attacked. One woman made a TikTok while crying. Even if Erika used a surrogate, God still gave her that baby. He still made her a mother. We shouldn't judge what we don't understand. But these defenders were quickly drowned out by the overwhelming tide of rage, betrayal, and disbelief. Because Erika hadn't just deceived the public, she had manipulated faith. She had taken verses from Scripture and wrapped them around a false pregnancy to build a platform, a profit pipeline, and a position of power. And once the truth came out, even her defenders couldn't spin the optics. A photo of Erika clutching a baby blanket during a Faith and Family live stream, where she tearfully said, "God gave me this miracle," was reposted with the caption, "God gave her a PR team and a foam bump." One pastor's daughter summarized it best on Instagram. "She staged a miracle. That's not ministry, that's marketing." Now the question wasn't, did Erika lie? It was, can she ever recover? And as we'll see in the next section, maybe not, because what's coming next? A final twist so dark, so personal, so utterly damning, it might make this entire scandal feel like child's play. Just when you thought the Erika Kirk scandal couldn't get any darker. A terrifying new twist emerged, one that didn't just expose deception, but revealed what some are now calling a calculated attempt to silence a woman who gave birth to Erika's miracle. A leaked audio recording, allegedly between Erika and an unnamed Romanian official, surfaced on a shadowy Telegram channel known for posting whistleblower content. The channel, cryptically titled Domnului Noir, claimed they were contacted by a former translator for an American religious figure tied to international surrogacy fraud. At first, no one believed it. The file was garbled, rough, and full of static, but audio specialists got to work. And when it was cleaned up, the voice that emerged was unmistakable, Erika Kirk. And what she allegedly said on the tape, it wasn't just shocking, it was chilling. I need her quiet. I don't care what it costs. I'll donate to her family, start a ministry in her name, whatever. But she needs to understand, this story can never leave Romania. A man's voice responds, she's been paid, yes? Then she should have nothing more to say. Erika replies, she's emotional. She thinks this is personal, but I'm not a monster. I just can't let this go public. You understand what this would do to my brand? You could hear the tension, the panic, the coldness. It wasn't a woman protecting a child. It was a public figure protecting a narrative. And this wasn't just a PR scramble. This sounded like a coordinated intimidation effort. Within hours, the audio spread like wildfire. Podcasters dubbed it the silencing tape. TikTokers posted reaction videos where they listened with mouths wide open in disbelief. X exploded with the hashtag #SheNeedsHerQuiet. One viral post read, the voice of every exploited woman ever, paid to disappear, branded a threat for telling the truth. But it got worse. Investigative journalists began digging into Romanian business records and discovered something utterly disturbing. Months before the surrogate came forward, a nonprofit registered in Erika's name, Grace for Families International, had been quietly approved in Romania. Its mission? Supposedly to support Christian family structures and offer wellness aid to rural women. But here's the kicker. The nonprofit's board of directors included 2 people connected to surrogacy clinics and a former intelligence officer. Was this charity just a cover-to-funnel hush money? Or worse, was it a front to control vulnerable women who agreed to carry children for high-profile clients? No one had answers, but the questions alone ignited a new wave of outrage. And just when the fury reached its peak, the surrogate vanished. Her social media accounts were deactivated. She stopped responding to interview requests. A journalist who had scheduled a follow-up interview with her posted a cryptic message. Our scheduled call did not happen. Her phone is off. Family says she's resting in a wellness facility. I hope she's safe. The internet didn't buy it. Users started theorizing that Erika, or someone in her orbit, had pressured the woman into hiding. Some speculated legal threats. Others feared bribes. A few even whispered abduction. Yes, the conspiracy theories were flying, but no one could deny something very real had changed. This woman, who had once bravely told her truth to the world, was now gone, silenced, possibly coerced. And Erika? Still no comment. But guess who stepped in? Candace Owens. Again, in a surprise Instagram Live viewed by over 600,000 people, Candace appeared visibly rattled. She said she'd received 3 separate calls warning her to back off the Erika coverage. She even hinted that her phone might be tapped, but she didn't back down. She doubled down. I don't care if they come for me. Erika doesn't just owe the public an apology. She owes that surrogate her life back. This is bigger than social media. This is systemic. And then, at the end of the stream, Candace dropped a final bombshell. I have another recording. I won't release it yet, But let's just say it makes the first tape look like a bedtime story. The chat went berserk. Drop the tape. Expose her. No mercy. You can't let this go quiet. She's done. The pressure cooker was about to blow again. People weren't just angry anymore. They were demanding accountability, demanding justice, demanding that the truth finally come out in full. And as the world waits to see what Candace does next, one thing is clear. Erika's silence is no longer a shield. It's an admission. She can't post. She can't speak. She can't preach. Because every word from this point forward will be held against her. What was once a Christian miracle story has become a case study in narcissistic deception, performative faith, and influencer fraud. But the real question is, where's the surrogate now? And what's on that second tape? So, now that the mask is off, the question becomes, what are we going to do about it? Erika Kirk's empire was built on an illusion. Her words were broadcast from pulpits, podcasts, and parenting panels. Millions followed her for inspiration, for guidance, for hope. But if this surrogate scandal has proven anything, it's that we've been following a perfectly manufactured fantasy. A fantasy sold in the name of faith. A fantasy staged with scripts, wigs, and silence money. A fantasy designed to manipulate the truth and monetize belief. And now, it's up to you to respond. So here's what we want you to do. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Erika ever genuine? Or has it all been a performance from day one? Do you believe the surrogate is truly safe? Or was she forced into silence after the leaked recording? And most importantly, what do you think is on that second tape Candace Owens is holding? Don't hold back. We're watching every comment, every theory, every thread you drop down below. The best ones might be featured in our next deep dive episode. And if this story left you shook, disgusted, or just speechless, hit that like button to expose the truth to even more people. Subscribe and turn on all notifications, because what's coming next? We've got a sequel dropping. Candace leaks Erika's second tape. What's really on the recording they tried to bury. And you do not want to miss it. Trust us. This next drop is going to be even more explosive, because Erika's silence is collapsing by the minute. The walls are closing in, and the world is finally waking up to the lies wrapped in pastel scripture. So buckle up, because we're not done yet. We're just getting started. Comment below, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next chapter in this twisted, unbelievable saga.